Hey guys, what's going on? Aaron Bennett here. I want to dive into some of the top stories for today, talking about Celsius Network and what Alex Mashinsky wanted to put straight on the record, talking about no, they did not get anything from New York. And he goes over that in this Medium article, which I'm going to cover, and also talking about what Hickey Boy on Twitter is sharing, talking about, the outflows and inflows moving in and out of Celsius wallets. Definitely want to follow him if you aren't already. And then I want to touch on what Raoul Pal is saying, 400% growth by the end of this market cycle. He's looking at an $8 trillion market cap, which is very, very exciting. Then taking a look at Facebook partnering with Coinbase for their new digital wallet rollout. To be honest, I didn't even know this was happening. I think Facebook really screwed up when it comes to crypto, which I'll get to in a second. Then talking about the Bitcoin Futures ETF, which launched yesterday, debuting with the highest ever first day natural volume of $1 billion. Looking at the next ETF coming out for Bitcoin with the trading symbol by the freaking dip. Pretty funny there. So that is basically it, guys. If you're not already subscribed to my station, go ahead and click that little button to make sure that you catch these videos. So starting out with Celsius. So Alex said yesterday there is so much disinformation about Celsius floating around, so we set the record straight here. And I'm glad that Decrypt picked up this story because it's very important. So what Celsius put out, I'm just going to summarize it, even though the TLDR is here. Basically, Celsius has not received a cease and desist order from New York, so that was floating around. Celsius is working closely with regulators. Regulation is vital to Celsius's continued success and growth and to the crypto space as a whole. So going over some of the most important parts, it says increased regulatory interest is not unique to Celsius. Basically, this type of regulatory interest is not unique, and it's also not a surprise because Celsius threatens banks. So of course, they're going to challenge Celsius. That's literally expected. So also they say Celsius is working closely with U.S. states to provide clarity about our business operations. So they have been working with states. Whenever they need information, Celsius will provide that. Celsius has not received a cease and desist from New York State. So it says Celsius has received a request for information and not a cease and desist, very different, from New York authorities. We are now working on providing regulators in New York with info about our business and offering. Also, they say we expect additional U.S. states to reach out to Celsius requesting information. So don't be surprised if there's more FUD floating around on the internet saying that all these other states are inquiring about Celsius. That is expected. This is what we expect to happen. So that's basically it. You can read it, the whole thing if you want. I'm not going to read it for you, but the FUD that is floating around the internet goes viral. And that's what FUD does. Like I said in my video yesterday, Celsius is getting kind of hammered by this FUD. Nexo is getting hammered by this FUD. A lot of people are getting hammered by this FUD. So sorry about this formatting, guys, but it says Celsius competitor Nexo yesterday confirmed receiving an order, but Nexo called it a mix-up. It says Nexo is not offering its earned product and exchange in New York, so it makes little sense to be receiving a cease and desist order from something we are not offering in New York anyway. So it's very confusing. Nexo is not even offering their services in New York, but apparently they received a cease and desist from New York. So guys, I don't think I need to tell you guys the competency of government officials and government agencies. They are ass backwards and they are going to be making mistakes, and their mistake can provide a lot of FUD ammo to take down or to attack whatever you want. So just be very wary of what you believe and what you're thinking here. So next I want to cover this really quick. Hickey Boy on Twitter, HIKKYBOY. I'll link it in the description below. Every week he tracks the inflows and outflows from the top 500 in Celsius, the top 500 wallets. So for example, we're seeing that Alex's main account basically sold, or not necessarily sold, about 929,000 CEL token left that wallet. So where did those CEL tokens go? I would actually have to go and search that. Maybe I will in a future video. Maybe he sold it. Maybe he's using it for liquidity on Uniswap. Who knows? Who knows where that went? Maybe it's going into another wallet that he owns. We really don't know. Does that mean that Alex hates CEL token? No, of course not. If Alex hated CEL token, he wouldn't be holding on to 39 million of them in his wallet, in one of his wallets. He rebalances his portfolio all the time, like he says publicly. He rebalances how much he owns in crypto, how much he owns in each coin. So what he does personally, I mean, yes, it does affect all of us because he owns so much, and yes, it is of interest to all of us. But I mean, we have to be real here. I mean, the fact that the CEO's public address is public, that says a lot about the company. Show me the CEO of Nexo and Crypto.com and Voyager. Show me their wallets, because just the transparency in Celsius is top-notch. So anyway, I just wanted to cover that really quick. Taking a look at the next story, talking about what Raoul Pal is saying. Now, this guy always has massive price predictions. He says all this fear was already thrown at the crypto market, that 50% correction we already had. He said if you look at the post-halving cycles, this quarter is where all the gains are made. He then goes on to say that this cycle can go all the way into January, February, and March. He says it can go as far as June. Now, I've heard people say it's going to go well into Q2. I've heard really smart people say we may just see kind of choppy waters. We may not see a blow off top. We may not see what we saw in 2013, 2017. We may hit a huge number and then go down a little bit and then kind of stay, sideways until the next halving cycle. There are so many different things happening right now, so really we don't know. And I will obviously be talking about this more and more as we get closer to January, February, and March, and let you guys know what I'm going to do. He says potentially this rally can grow as much as 400% by the end of the bull market. So this $2 trillion market cap we have now can go to 8 or 10 trillion by the end of the cycle. And then he says we will correct. We will see what happens. I mean, everyone has their prediction. Everyone thinks, we're definitely going to blast through 100 grand for sure. I will let you guys know what I think is going to happen. Ultimately, I'm not selling right now. So when I'm selling, I'll let you guys know. The next story I want to talk about, Facebook chooses Coinbase as a custody partner for the new digital wallet rollout. Social media giant Facebook is launching the Novi crypto wallet today in the US and Guatemala. The initial rollout only allows users to trade Paxos dollar or USDP stablecoin, which is secured by Coinbase. I have to be honest with you guys, I didn't even know about this. That's how little news this is getting. Facebook really screwed up. You may have remembered right here when they were coming out with what was called Libra coin, changed to DM, and it says it's still facing regulatory approval and will not be available in this wallet until it's approved. Facebook, one of the biggest tech companies, one of the biggest companies in the world, they could have been the forefront of crypto and Bitcoin, and they didn't. And I think they are trying to play catch up right now. They haven't come out saying they hold any on their corporate balance sheet. They probably do, but they are really behind in this game, which is a real shame. If you like Facebook, I think Facebook kind of sucks, but they really screwed this one up in my opinion. Next, taking a look at Bitcoin futures ETF debuting with the highest natural volume of $1 billion. Massive, massive, massive. So that's what came out yesterday. Then taking a look at the Valkyrie Bitcoin Strategies ETF's ticker symbol is BTFD, which is pretty hilarious. So if you don't know what BTFD is, buy the freaking dip, except it's not freaking. And guys, that is basically it. Just refreshing CoinGecko really quick. I mean, we've been flirting with this all-time high. By the time you watch this, maybe we have already breached it, but we have not breached this all-time high yet in Bitcoin. But what's interesting is that in different currencies, like in euros, they have hit new all-time highs. Just in the US dollar, we haven't. So in a lot of other places, yeah, new all-time highs. They've already hit it. So there's all sorts of movement. I think everything is kind of waiting to see what Bitcoin does. The market's kind of like, okay, are we going to blast through this? What's going on here? Ultimately, guys, altcoins are going to trail Bitcoin most likely. Bitcoin, if it does a big run up to 100 grand, it goes up 30% or so from right now. Altcoins will probably rally 200%. It always does much more than Bitcoin. So at this point, guys, I'm just, like I said in my video yesterday, just holding on to good projects and waiting to see what happens with the market. So guys, that's it. Leave your thoughts below. in the comments. And till next time, talk with you soon, and bye for now.